Living Solutions. This is gonna blow your mind. I've just added to her, and it's way more than what it looks like. You recognize Tim? This is gonna be fun. Plus Top Gun Maverick. Stick around. Well, step one today is this pool. You know what? Kids are chomping at the bit. But I think my wife is the most eager. My wife and the 5-year-old. Backwash the filter. I have a high security lock. You're not a tradesman. There ain't no way you're getting in there. You won't know what that is. Let's go, Betsy. If you're from out west, it probably looks like a tragedy to dump that much water. We got water coming out of our ears here. It has not stopped raining. It's been like April, in May, in June. And you know what they say? If April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring? Pilgrims. We got flooded basements. Got way too much water. I have 3 options on my ride to work today. I could take the UFO, the pirate ship, or this beater. Well, this is gonna be Tim's.
It's doing it. Just kidding.
It's not. This is gonna be Tim's first experience with full self-driving in the Tesla. He likes to call it the slaw. There it is. Keep your hands on the wheel. It just told you to keep your hands on the wheel. What are you doing? There it is. Oh, my screen's so dirty.
So to clarify, this is full supervised self-driving Tesla, right?
It is driving itself. You must remain engaged. You're the supervisor.
I'm in charge.
That's right. Look at that childish smile on his face. It's like getting a football for Christmas. It's so exciting. As a child, of course. We've left the office, as sales professionals should be doing. We're heading to a business development meeting. It's got a manifold number of opportunities that could be very interesting. One of the things that we do is pre-call. So that's mental preparation to look over our sales process, because we have a selling system. There's a defined process. How do you move a prospect, really a suspect, to a prospect? Identify, engage, and advance. And that's what we're going to be required to do. Loxone is the residential and commercial automation system in all of Europe. Internationally, they're a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're pushing big into the US market. Dan is currently the only platinum installer in the Midwest. If you'd like Dan's input on one of your home or business automation schemes, we'll leave a link to him in the description. Business owners who like what they see in this video can also get in touch with Loxone in the description. They are expanding their team of US install partners. Being first in, your business might never be the same. The law of timing is a huge advantage. Check the description for a link for early access to Loxone and to becoming a US install partner.
So that is a frame TV, so you'll see the artwork rotate.
It's so compelling, though.
Yeah,
I've seen these before. This one's really compelling.
Yeah, no, and that's the reason we kind of chose that spot and everything, because with the brightness, you know, lots of times you think, oh, it's a TV, it's just going to look like a bright light, but no, this adjusts with the ambient light, so it makes it look like a piece of art. You know, lots of times people don't want to see their TV, so we can do TV lifts, hide things like that, and they can come out of floors, ceilings. We do them a lot outside by pools, grills, like pool coping, so it can be right by the pool, but you don't have to have it up all the time.
Okay, so I have to ask the compelling question, and maybe it's too soon, but I want to know if you guys have any regrets in how you built out this space, because I'm new to it. I'm just like, wow, like I almost cried when you were it's overwhelming. It's absolutely amazing, the human ingenuity in all of this. Do you have any regrets in how you built this out?
On how we did this? No one's ever asked me that before. I would say I would have probably liked if I could have disguised different lighting options, like a bad lighting option, so I could turn it on and show a comparison.
Yeah.
Like if I would have put 4 regular can lights in here, and
Yeah.
so you could see the difference between them. So things like that would probably be a thing I would add. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you could turn those on, have someone walk through and just seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Just a general Loxone camera?
No, that is a Ubiquity camera.
Got it.
So what that guy does, is that my phone? Let me get my phone here.
And there's a debate right now that I'm recognizing. I don't know if it's a fierce debate or if it's not even a comment, but some, like Igor was saying Loxone, and I hear you saying Loxone. Does it matter?
No.
Okay.
Depends where.
Potato, patata.
Even different parts of the country, I'm hearing the different.
Okay.
So you see us in this fisheye camera right here. What we can do is we can dewarp it so you actually have a full view like that. And we put it here because we can really see a 360 down the hallway, everything with one camera shot.
It's good.
So that's what that guy is.
Beautiful. I mean, the kids would be playing with that too.
Yep.
Making faces in it.
Yep. See how you look?
Screenshots.
So like when you have the sensor behind a refrigerator, an ice maker, you're not going to pull out the Sub-Z to replace the battery.
Certainly.
So that one is hardwired. So
good.
any place that someone wants one in a new build, we do that.
Great. Is it jumping ahead to ask what that wiring infrastructure looks like? Does it all go back to a common dispatch point, like a patch panel?
It goes back to our automation cabinet.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So
all the wiring has a central location, and that's
we'll show you.
great.
Yes.
Okay.
So before we leave our kitchen, we want to talk a little bit about lighting and human-centric lighting. So what we're doing here is we are going to show off as far as different lighting zones, moods, and kind of what they do. So in a lot of homes, what you'll see is lights are laid out just geometrically because it flows best on the ceiling. So they'll put, my house, I have a Pulte house, they put lights right here and right here. So
right.
So every time I walk by, I'm just getting glare in my face with lighting.
Certainly.
You can see how we have these lights placed here. You have a nice soft glow bouncing off the cabinet. It's lightly lighting up our kitchen countertop, and they're not in your face as you're walking through your kitchen. So that's the comfort zone. So we call that, it's comfortable, just kind of ambient lighting. Now I'm going to add my work zone. So what this is going to do is you see it illuminates my work surfaces here and here. So you're working with knives, you're cooking, nice bright surface. Yep. It shows your food off well. We have our lights come on under here, so we have our nice work surface lit up, and all of that is in our work zone. Then we have our safety zone, which is at night. So you come get a glass of water. The presence sensor is going to turn these lights on. You can get a glass of water, not trip over the dog bone, go back to bed, they'll go off. Then different things like our party mode. So then you can kind of get creative. So we have different colors. You see purple. It's changing colors down here. All of that.
Beautiful.
There's holiday mode. So you want to do that. Don't have to put Christmas lights. You can do really whatever you want.
And how do you cycle through modes? Strictly from the tablet or in the app?
So these lighting scenes are from a switch or the app.
In the modern home with a moderate open concept, like I think maybe 2010 was kind of like and I'm not an interior designer, but like the pendulum swung so far such that it was maximum open concept. Like the whole house was open except the bathroom and the bedroom, and everything else was just as open as possible from a structural perspective. And we've swung back a little bit to have I'd say modified open concept where we're removing walls, but not all the walls. And so that's a constant challenge in today's home. Where do you locate the switch so that you're not traveling to operate the localized lights?
Yes.
Amazing. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yep. One of the unique things about the system is once a device, whether it's a light, a damper, a speaker, is on the system, we have really full programming compatibility and versatility to modify it and change it to whatever we want. So it's really, we're not limited like other systems. You're limited by drivers or other parameters that are pre-built, whereas Loxone has an open infrastructure. So anything with electrical connection, internet connection, we can write commands, code to do whatever a client wants. One of the benefits is that a client doesn't have to call us every time they want to make a change. Other automation systems, truck roll, it's let's have a service tech come out and fix something, whereas is Loxone, kind of like we talked about a little earlier, is very user-friendly, very stable. It's not, I kind of liken it to a server versus a Windows computer. A lot of other automation systems are like Windows computer. You have to do a reboot, a software update every day. It's like I gotta, turn something on and off to get it to work. So Loxone, everything processed here locally. We're not dependent on the internet working, and it's not a constant reboot update type of scenario.
Right.
So that's.
What about the people the customers who are privacy centric or sensitive? Are they able to operate the Loxone system without an internet connection?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if someone says, I don't want this thing plugged into my internet, we can actually unplug the Ethernet cord from the Loxone mini server. All of your switches, your presence, everything in the house will work. You just will not be able to use a phone or a tablet to control it.
Got it. Makes sense. Fair enough.
Yep.
And then you said something that was mind-blowing, and I have to pause and bring us back to that.
Yes.
You said everything with an electrical connection can be integrated to the Loxone system.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Your imagination is really our limitation.
Profile pictures, I can see it all.
So you saw me carrying this tablet around. Mm-hmm. So this is just an iPad in a case. Okay. I put it on the wall. That is a magnetic charger. So it holds it, it charges it. I can use it as my smart home interface here. Yep. And I can pull it off and use it as an iPad. So you don't have to have a dedicated thing for the automation system. So you can change lighting scenes, audio through here.
Yep. Stop it. It just clicked, but it looks exactly like everything else.
Yes.
It's also an induction sensor.
Yep.
And how does it? Is it the same device?
Same device as the kitchen.
And it's embedded in the wall here.
Yep. So it's behind our tile and our backer. We have that in there. So those switches work in any non-metallic surface up to 1.25 inches thick.
That's very, very thick. Was this towel specifically selected such that it would have a similar size and shape, such that it was logical where the buttons were?
It just worked out that way. The tile choice was chosen by a designer, but we then figured out, oh, well, that's a good spot for a switch. Now, if you go ahead and see, you just did the music there. There's your lighting, and you can volume, TV, lighting, all while in the shower. So yeah, if you just hold your finger there, that'll be volume up. Oh, you might hit it a couple too many times. And it gives you the ability to not have to have a decal like you saw on the kitchen. So we could have said, okay, I want to put the switch right here. I'm going to put a sticker right there. Mm-hmm. But we wanted it to be discreet, and we didn't want it to overpower the space and flow with the design. Here we go. So this is our night scene. So you saw initially when the lights came on, they were very bright. That was our day scene. Now, if you walk in here at night, this is the lighting scene that comes on. So it's not going to startle you awake. You're not going to trip over anything. You see the nice glow underneath the counter. The lights are dimmer. And you also see the backlight here. So you can find the switch if you need to at night.
That's it. And every switch, every touch switch has the same capabilities. Mm-hmm. The night lights, audio, humidity, temperature,
yeah,
5-point.
And I'm going to show you around the corner a customized switch. This is kind of, let's call this the standard basic switch, but we're going to get to a customized switch here in just a second. Okay, so now you see we have music, we have TV, we have lights. I double tap. That kills everything. So you can shut everything off in a room by doing that.
That's great. That music, was that Indiana Jones?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, thank you.
Yes,
I'm gonna go listen to that on the way home. It just,
Okay, so now when we walk in here, again, we have to get into a space, so get out of the hallway before things activate. So when you're walking up and down the hallway, you're not going to be turning the room on and off all the time. Yeah. You're going to go check under the bed?
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Is that based on how you orient that presence sensor?
Yeah, it is masked, so it's basically we blocked it from picking up over here.
And that's with these
little covers. Yep. Okay, so by our bedside here, you'll see this kind of looks like a Loxone switch. So it is. I can go ahead and touch and change my lighting scenes right from my bedside. And you see it lights up too. It's got a light behind it. And this lets you control everything from your bedside, your shades, your music, your lights, alarm clock. I can put the house in night mode by touching this too, so nice and convenient. And again, fully programmable, customizable from the app. Then we have 2 wireless buttons. So this wireless button we have set to control that, and this wireless button we have set to control that. They can do anything you want, but just other things.
Could that watch wireless button be like a life safety device for elderly?
It can. Yeah, we do some assisted living and independent living. We can't use it in that application because that device has to tie to one wireless receiver. Okay, so in a house like this, fine, but I can't do a 30,000 square foot facility with one receiver. So I couldn't use it in that application, but yes, in a typical home, yes.
Got it.
So then here, what you're looking at here, this is a piece of rolled out. It's a veneer stone on a sheet of plexiglass with LED lights behind it. So
A real stone product. A real veneer.
It is a real.
Whoa.
It is a real paper thin veneer that lets us shine light through it.
Wow.
So any application, it works really well too behind shelves. So if you have shelves you want to light up, wood shelves, bookcases. And kind of what I was talking about, you see this switch looks a lot different than the other ones we were looking at.
Yeah.
So these are customizable. So when I hit this light button, you'll see it's going to tell me now what lighting scene I have there. And as I cycle through, it'll just tell you what you're looking at there. And the climate, I can click this temperature icon, and I can go ahead and I can adjust my climate right from here as well. So very, very simple to use, just like a thermostat, just up, down, very, very easy. My audio is here, so I play, pause, turn my music on. Now, volume right here. So volume up there, and likewise, if I go behind you here, if I want to turn it up too, I can use this one. So either one works.
So this was literally the scene at my house. No, not this. 10 p.m. last night, my 5-year-old's yelling, "Alexa! Alexa!" I had to go quiet her down before she woke up the whole house. She did like 20 times in a row because that stupid device would not listen. And there we go.
Can you find the speakers in this room?
No, stop it.
So yeah, put your hand right there. So they're invisible. So they're behind the drywall.
I can't see a thing.
Yeah, we had good drywall finishers. So people that don't want to see speaker grills, have those spaces. They just don't want the obstruction of that. These can go wall, ceiling. They have subwoofers too. So wherever someone wants, something like that. So if you notice in this room, there's no fan, right?
Right.
But there is a fan button on here.
Okay.
So we could say you have to touch this fan button, and then within 10 seconds do that. So we can really do whatever a client wants as a secret feature, a command to do things.
I have to stick with the Picasso. No, I'm kidding.
That's Starry Night.
It all comes with. If you don't like Starry Night, you can't have the product.
Dang. Okay, no Luxone if you don't like.
If you don't like that.
Starry Night.
Yeah.
You
Got
got
it.
the screen. Which one would you want? You got two.
It's their in-house artist.
Yep.
Who does them
Yep.
all.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that's impressive.
Yep.
The gun safe. Also, we can keep asking this question. Luxone
No.
gun safe.
No.
But you integrated it
Correct.
with an induction touch switch.
Yep.
Which is Loxone.
Which is that's called their touch surface switch. That's behind the wall.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So again, our hidden secret room. If I put this book in a certain spot and I know where to touch, you can have things like that happen.
Okay, now we cue the Indiana Jones.
So panic rooms, wine cellars, hidden bookcases, things that open up. So the reason we chose this here, we do a lot of doors that are pivots. It's just like a bookcase door.
Sure.
But you'll see these concrete walls are 18 inches thick, so we couldn't just pivot a door.
Yeah.
So we had to go with the mini garage door style for this application.
Wow, nicely done. That took some work.
So that, and kind of how we typically work is we will handle the automation, and the trim carpenter handles the build out. So they would construct
Fair.
the shelf, do that. We handle all the wiring, motorization, all of that.
Totally fair. Okay, I see the induction.
Yep. So we kind of kept it back here so people could see what's happening. So I knew where to touch on the bookshelf, and I had to have the book in a certain spot. So you saw me put the book over here.
Yeah.
And what that's doing is I have a magnet in the book, so it activates this switch, and then that'll work once that's activated.
Got it.
And again, it's unique as the client. It could, whatever a client wants to do, interact with it, we can make a feature that'll work that way. Then here, this is kind of the brains of the operation. So this is the automation cabinet that's controlling everything that you see here. And everything is operated by our mini server here. So we're not dependent on the cloud. We're not sending things out to the internet for the space to work. And you see, the fast response time. You touch a switch, things happen instantly. It's not like an Amazon Alexa has to go think, okay, I got to talk to that wireless light switch and then get it to work and all that. Everything is instantaneous because of that. Up top here, we're moving up. This is our audio server. So this is our audio in the rooms. So that's controlling all the speakers. The speakers you saw behind the wall, bathroom, kitchen, everywhere. Moving up, this is power supply and battery backup and energy management. So with this, what we have are our batteries, and you can see up top we have a couple just lead acid batteries. And what that does is if there's a power outage, everything Loxone keeps working, including the switches, the presence, all of the low voltage LED lights will work. The only thing that won't work is the 120 volt because we don't have a generator or battery backup here or anything on the line voltage.
That's right. Very good.
The batteries last as long as a lot of variables depending how much load you have, how big of a battery you have. We can keep adding on batteries up to a certain point. We can load manage, and I have some other devices up front I'll show you. But let's say you only want to have the hot tub on when you're making solar. We can do that. You only want to charge EV when you're making solar. If you want to load shed because you want to add an EV charger but don't want to upgrade your service from a 2 to 400 amp, we can load shed, the hot tub, the pool, things when you want to charge your EVs. You don't have to do that utility upgrade. So kind of all of that energy management side can play into it.
That's huge because people keep saying the grid can't support the electrification of America, just EVs alone, right? Mm-hmm. And in one sense, it's a fact. I was talking to a utility engineer, and he said if a third of the homes in this brand new subdivision got EVs, it literally would blow the grid. You'd have transformers overloaded, popping, blowing, whole neighborhood without power. That's a fact today. But what people aren't accounting for is energy management when they talk about the insufficiency of the grid and distributed generation, such that we're generating, storing, and managing with methods like load shedding energy in localized areas such that the average consumer 10 years from now isn't going to be putting all that stress on the grid. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, again, generated, stored, and managed locally.
Yep.
And the grid will become a broker of energy between distribution points and between millions of distribution points as opposed to a distributor of a single source of energy.
Yep, all these microgrids connected together.
Yeah.
And Loxone plays really well into that. Talks to battery walls, solar, EV chargers, and kind of manages all that holistically.
Great.
Yep.
That's the winner for our customers. We have customers putting in $500,000 energy infrastructure into their homes. The ability to then manage it in an integrated fashion with the rest of the home, as opposed to all these segmented technologies that make for a busy life, being able to unsegment them and make for a simple life.
Mm-hmm. And Loxone really can do all this in the background. You know how earlier we were talking about the shades and the HVAC up front, right? That all plays into the energy management. So Loxone's energy management isn't just turning on and off something. It's managing the HVAC, the shades, the lighting, all to work cohesively to manage that energy from that perspective. So again, we're not just an isolated system looking at just the grid or just the battery, just solar. We're looking at shades, light, all of that and how it plays into it. So that's, again, one of the reasons why we chose Loxone, because we don't have to say no. We can say yes to all that.
These are different protocols, or
Yep. So those would just be we can talk to DMX lights, RS-45, RS-232, so all different communication protocols. So that's how we integrate with a lot of things.
and you get to select, and it looks like you can expand.
Yeah. So we design cabinets with extra space because clients always add things, right? So we've added things already over here. There was nothing here initially, and we kept adding. So we filled some of our space. Then what you see next, these are controlling all the RGBW lights. So all these LED strips everywhere are controlled by these guys. Here we're controlling dimmers and relays of 120 volt loads. So the electrician has taken our 120 volt loads here, run them up into our dimmers. So we're controlling those. Fans and non-dimmable loads we're controlling with our relays, so just turning them on and off there. Then one step below, these are DMX lights, which are those 6 lights you saw in the living room. So that's how we're controlling that, just to show, okay, that's a low voltage and DMX, so something different that we're controlling there.
This is curious.
Okay.
Oh, I don't recognize this. A water softener? No.
Salt tank. Yeah, it's a salt tank for water softener.
Yeah.
So why do we have it here? Well, you see this little circle right here is an ultrasonic sensor. So it is measuring the depth of our salt in there. So it'll send you an alert. Hey, your salt level is 10%. Put another bag in. So
Wow.
it'll do that for us.
Wow.
Then right above you, this is our water and gas valve that we turned on and off when our water alarm went off. So these install right at the mains of the house. So that way, when that water goes off, it shuts it right off before it can get anywhere in the house.
Curious enough, insurance companies will sometimes give you a discount on your homeowner's insurance premium when you have a safety device like this because of the price tag connected with the leak. And I don't know what the average duration, but on a $35,000 repair, you're probably going to be out of your home for 2 to 12 weeks, right? So this device right here, I think, is really interesting from the standpoint that I believe it's probably only a matter of time before the code picks up on leak detection and makes it a matter of building code. And it's going to be an adoption by state at the state level, right? But I think it's coming.
Yep. Especially with the price of those claims, like you were saying.
That's right.
So earlier we talked about what the water did, right? You saw all of that, the lights flash, everything happens. So similarly, that could be a gas valve coming into your house. So the smoke detectors in this building and Loxone buildings and homes are tied in here as well. So it's an interconnected low voltage system, and what that does is number one, you avoid the chirping batteries in the middle of the night. So these batteries are the backup battery for the smoke detector system. So 2 a.m. you're never going to have that chirping battery that annoys you and you have to get up and interact with. What it also does is that is communicating back to Loxone, and if the smokes go off, what's going to happen is your home automation system is going to turn your HVAC off, so you're not circulating smoke throughout the house. It's going to shut the gas valve off. It's going to open your shades so the fire department can see in. It's going to flash the outside lights so the fire department knows which house to go to, and it's going to send you the alert and kind of do all that. So again, the system is doing all this for you. You're not having to think about all that.
Okay, so the tough question. I'm genuinely blown away, but when's the last time you had to do a reset and fix something that just fell out of protocol?
The last time we had to reboot this one was just because we updated things. So we added a piece of equipment, so we needed to reboot it. Most of our homes, the only time they get rebooted is when there's a software update. So that is usually Loxone has 2 to 3 times a year they'll post a software update. Then if we choose to run that, then it'll update and reboot. Or if someone doesn't have a battery backup and the power goes out, then it'll do a reboot.
Got it.
And let's say that happens, your power goes out, it's about 10-15 seconds before it comes back online. So you're not sitting there minutes touching a switch waiting for something to happen.
Right. Very good. So at this facility, I mean, you're packed with tech. When's the last time you did a reboot outside of a software update?
It has been about 9 months.
Wow. I will confess. The one thing about Tesla is both my wife and I have gotten caught with the dang thing won't work and have had to do a reboot. And that's usually like you're in the grocery store parking lot. It's not entirely convenient, and you're there for a couple of minutes with a black screen doing a reset, waiting for it to come live.
Hopefully you're not like 80 miles an hour down the highway.
No, it hasn't done that. Hasn't done that.
So we have vetted a lot of systems. We looked at Elan, Crestron, Control Force, Avant, all of those automation systems.
Yeah.
And the reason we chose Loxone was for its stability and compatibility. We didn't like being told no. Like, there's not a control for our driver, you can't use that, or you can't do that. Or the client wants something and we just have to say no, we can't do it because there's limitations and drivers and that. So really just kind of think of Loxone as an open book, open source that if we're smart enough to find a way, we can find a way to do it.
Incredible. This has got to be a Loxone cabinet.
No.
No? Is this a standard protocol?
It's a standard DIN rail cabinet.
Standard DIN rail cabinet. Okay.
Yep.
FMX. Huh.
Yep.
What other purchases are required with the Loxone system? Like extras, engineer design fees. What am I spending money on besides the system installed in my home itself?
So besides the system, what goes into a system is all the infrastructure as well. So the wiring in the walls before drywall goes up in a new build. So all of that is included, and we do engineer the systems ahead of time. So we're designing, making sure we have enough amperage to support everything, enough power supply. So we're doing all that ahead of time, so we don't have oops, we didn't figure that out. Here's another bill, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. So next we have our typical AV looking rack.
Yeah.
So this would be network equipment. That is an access point here. So this typically goes on the ceiling in a building, so commercial, residential, and you've probably heard of a mesh network and where I'm just putting these things in outlets or just putting them on tables, whereas this has a hardwired Ethernet connection back to the switch. So anywhere I go in my building, I'm getting a solid connection back. I'm not having to lose speed by hopping and getting back to my router and switch. So that is what this is. And the system we use is by a company called Ubiquity, and we also have Wi-Fi 7 available now too. So at our office we have a Wi-Fi 7 access point. This is not one. We have a new iPhone 15. And we're able to get 1.2 gigs Wi-Fi. So it's crazy fast speeds with new devices.
That's cool.
We have our cameras here. So we have a hard drive. So it's recording all the cameras in the one I showed you there. We also have a device here that will reboot our internet. So let's say this modem stops receiving internet. This outlet will automatically just power cycle that to try and bring it on for us.
Nice.
So works well, especially if someone has a vacation home, second home where they're not there all the time, but the internet you don't have to drive there to power cycle your modem.
Yeah.
So that'll do that for us. And we have amplifiers and home theater equipment down there.
So this is non-Loxone.
Correct. So what you're seeing here, this is a 120-inch acoustically transparent screen. So what that means is that the audio is coming right at us through the screen. So you don't have any speakers on the sides of the screen or anything like that. It's all going to come right at you there. And the benefit of that is you get the sound really right from the screen, so it doesn't sound like it's coming left, right, center, all of that. And
wow.
What it lets us do is hide speakers. You have speakers on the sides. You should have felt that.
Here we go. Enemy territory up ahead. Feed dry in 60 seconds. Comanche, Dagger 1, picture.
Comanche, picture clean. Decision is yours.
Our micro LED displays. So it's a circuit board with a whole bunch of little tiny pixels on it. And these go seamlessly together, so we can make a TV the size anybody wants. For instance, the one we did there, it was 162 inches, and it took 144 of these panels is what made that up. Really good for theaters, for foyers, for lobbies of commercial buildings. If someone wants a big display. They can also go outside, pools, bars, outdoor dining areas. So we'll use it. Basically, just think of it as a big giant billboard. Only these pixels are so much smaller, so it looks really crisp from up close. So the tinier the pixel, the more expensive it gets. So if someone wants to view it from 20 feet away, versus 6 feet away, it's half the cost because it's about half the pixels. So that's kind of how the micro LED TVs work.
So Dan, this is not normal. You're not normal. What's your background? You started Intelligent Living Solutions in 2014, but I'm curious about what happened before that.
Yeah, so right before that, I'm a landscape architect by schooling, and before that, I had a landscape and pool company, but that doesn't really make the match to this company. But I grew up with an electrical engineer as a dad, and
That's it.
yeah, played with soldering irons and batteries, and had little fires in my room, and so was always into this type of technology. But with the landscape company, I was doing TVs and audio and pool automation, and that kind of bridged the gap to this company.
Do you ever catch your carpet on fire?
There's burn marks. Yes, yes.
And it smells great.
Yes.
Always smells great.
Yes, fresh. Yes,
Yeah, fresh
yes.
as roses. Man, I don't know if you're the kind of beast that's not salivating right now, but if you're not, you need to get checked because this is mind-blowing. My last ask is this: subscribe to Electric Pro Academy for real skills like this to make real money.